When people talk about the lottery, the focus oftentimes is on numbers, odds, and probability. But what if I told you that many winners have experiences with dreams, intuition, gut feelings, or spiritual experiences that they attribute to something more than just random? In this video, we're exploring what real lottery winners have described in their own words, the experiences they say stood out before their lives changed forever. And of course, many of you know that I actually am a lottery winner myself, and I had a dream about it before it happened. So I am passionate about meeting other people that have had similar experiences. And there are a lot of them. Let's dive into this. Mary Wollens was 86 years old when something unusual happened. In September of 2006, she bought a quick pick from the Ontario Lottery and didn't think anything of it until 2 nights before the drawing. She had a vivid dream in which she saw a lottery ticket with specific numbers on it and a large check. The next morning, she saw that these numbers were the exact same numbers on her ticket that was randomly generated. So what did she do? She went out and bought another ticket with the exact same numbers. And as the drawing was happening on television, the then 85-year-old Mary Wollens watched her numbers line up with precision and accuracy. They actually hit. This was for a 24 million lottery jackpot, and she bought 2 tickets. One other person bought 1 ticket with the same numbers, and so she got 2/3 of the prize, netting her 16 million. It's incredible. Another example comes from someone I actually interviewed twice, in fact, Randy Rush, who won a 50 million Lotto Max jackpot in Canada, and that was tax-free. But what's interesting about Randy is that when I spoke with him, he said that he's not someone that would really gamble. He considered it a voluntary tax on people. But years before his win, something very unusual happened.
I was at my friend's house, my buddy Daryl, and we were watching football on TV, and I had these numbers flash in my head.
A friend suggested something simple.
But he goes, wouldn't it just really just bother you the rest of your life if those numbers came in and you never played them?
That vision inspired him to play. He had a stack of tickets, and it was the last ticket in the stack worth $50 million. And I got to ask Randy what he thought of this feeling that happened before he won and then it happened in real life. And I really appreciated his honesty because he left it open to interpretation, but he was honest and he described what he experienced, which is extremely fascinating.
So it was just sort of playing with you, and you could feel that energy coming. You could feel it just. And a girlfriend I had at the time, I said, listen, this is going to happen. Be prepared.
Now, when it comes to intuition, there's lots of techniques that people use: journaling, meditation, and some people see psychics, which leads me to today's sponsor of this video, Psychic Source. They have been around for 30 years, and I just recently had a new reading through their service, and here is exactly what happened.
I do see some type of increase in money around you. Go with the flow, because I do see definitely the opportunities are going to come to you.
Now, with Psychic Source, you can have readings by phone, video, or text. And if you're not satisfied, your last paid reading is free. Right now, you can try up to 40 minutes for just $19.80. Just go to trypsychicsource.com/dreambig or click the link in the description. Now, this is an affiliate link, meaning that if you make a purchase, this channel will receive a small commission at no extra cost to you. But whether you have received a psychic reading from somebody else or you've had your own experience where you've dreamt about something such as the lottery, it's incredibly intriguing. Look at Olga Beno from Nova Scotia. She won $5.3 million, but she traced her numbers back nearly 3 decades. She said that in 1989, she dreamt of a specific set of lottery numbers, and she actually wrote down these numbers and played them for 28 years, the very same numbers from the dream. And over the years, she faced serious hardship, including a diagnosis of advanced cancer. And at one point, she even sold her home as she went through treatment. Then in January of 2017, Those numbers from the dream, they matched. And she won a whopping $5.3 million. She's quoted as saying, "At first I thought it can't be. It's a mistake in the paper." And then she called her sister and said, "Hey, I think I won the lottery." And her sister actually told her to call her back when she was ready to tell her the truth. So she didn't even believe her that it had happened. And in 2023, there's a California winner, Misael Cruz, who scored a $4 million jackpot from the Powerball. He was one number from hitting 600 million. So he was so close, but he scored an incredible prize of $4 million. But one thing I find very interesting about his story are the events leading up to it. The day he purchased the ticket, it's reported that he already knew he was going to win. He's quoted as saying, "I had a lucky feeling that day I bought my tickets. The clerk wished me good luck. When I was walking out the door, I said to myself, what if I win?" And then he did. He said, "I looked online and then my heart started beating fast. I turned to my girlfriend and she didn't believe I'd won because I didn't show any emotion. I was in shock. I didn't believe it. He had to check the numbers literally 3 times." And he went on to say, "I know exactly why I won. Exactly why. I help a lot of people and never expect anything in return. It's what I teach my children. I know I was rewarded for helping." So what do you guys think about that story? Do you believe in karma? And speaking of California, one of the most well-known lottery winner stories from there ever thus far is from Cynthia Stafford, who I have had the honor of interviewing twice. She actually won a Mega Millions jackpot of $112 million. But she openly credits visualization and manifestation. And one thing that makes Cynthia's story different than some of them that we see out there, she didn't just say that she felt like she would win one day. She had a specific target amount that she was intending to win, and that was 112 million. She wrote it down. She did affirmations, meditation, and visualization. And it's interesting that she didn't just imagine the win. She tried to feel what it would feel like to already be that person. And here's the part that's hard to forget. She described visualizing the amount so clearly, even imagining herself holding the check, including what she was wearing, and then it happened just like that. It's almost like this vision caught up to her in this reality that was already in her head before it happened in real life.
I chose that amount because it's close to my birthday. At the time, 112 just seemed like this will be a good goal to achieve.
Whether you call this faith, focus, subconscious programming, or something spiritual, one thing that I really like about Cynthia's story is that she's consistent about one thing. She says it wasn't wishful thinking. We will put a link to her interviews in the description of this video. But speaking of the law of attraction, that's exactly what Melodia Harris attributes to helping her win the Georgia lottery when she scored a massive $745,000. She said, and I quote, "I've been saying forever that I'm going to win. I used the law of attraction and visualization. I'm a huge believer in faith, visualization, and law of attraction." She won on a computer-generated quick pick. After she purchased this ticket, she was walking into a store. It was a Target, actually, where she said that she was struck by the urge, like a strong urge, to check her ticket. She hadn't even made it inside the store yet. Standing in the parking lot, checked the Georgia Lottery website and realized that every single number matched. She had won $745,000. She said, and I quote, "I didn't even make it inside. I was screaming and in tears, happy tears." And the final story in this particular video is my own. Many of you know that I won the Powerball in 1999. It was actually a 28 million jackpot, and I was 21 years old at the time. But 3 months before I won, I had a very vivid dream that it was going to happen before it did. And within the dream, I didn't see lottery numbers. I didn't see balls dropping. I didn't even see an amount. But what did happen is that within it, I experienced that I had already won the lottery. It had already happened. And it was so real and so vivid that when I woke up, it took a while to understand that it had not happened. It was that real. And so after that point in time, I started playing consistently. I started playing often, usually just one ticket at a time. And I started telling people that I was going to win. I remember even the day that I won, waving the ticket around before the drawing, telling people that I was holding the winning ticket. So then when it did happen, it was extremely surreal, and it literally felt like I was living in a movie, like I was living in the Matrix. And I have made more in-depth videos about my experience and my dream. I will link to those below. But I am not alone, and I meet and interview other lottery winners all the time on this channel who have either dreamt about it, or they believe in manifestation, or they attribute their wins to God or something spiritual. Now, this doesn't happen to everybody, but quite a few, an overwhelming number of people I meet and interview on this channel have experienced these types of things, which I find extremely fascinating. And I've even interviewed scientists who have studied this type of thing, intuition and consciousness and our energy, and their perspective on luck is extremely interesting as well. I'll link to a playlist about the science of luck below this video. But whether you are skeptical or a believer, I completely respect where you're coming from. But for me, these types of experiences are extremely intriguing, and it extends way beyond the lottery. It happens to me and to a lot of people in everyday life, like way beyond the lottery. But if you have a story that you'd like us to consider for this podcast or this YouTube channel, whether it involves intuition, spiritual transformation, manifestation, or you've won the lottery, email my team, because we want to hear from you, and we can keep you anonymous if you wish. And let me know in the comments, have you ever experienced a sign or a synchronicity or had a dream about something before it happened in real life? What do you think of these lottery winner stories? Comment below this video. I love checking out your comments. If you like this video, let YouTube's algorithm and me know by smashing the like button. We will also put a playlist to podcast interviews with other lottery winners in the description of this video. You're going to want to check that out. And as always, if you do play the lottery, always play responsibly is very important. Never spend more than you can afford to lose. And whether you do play or not, never stop dreaming, because destiny favors the dreamers. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for your support.
God is real, because like I said, I would pray. I prayed that night after watching your interview with Gavin when he won a $750,000 scratch off.
So you won $5 million the very next day?
The very next day. That night I prayed before I went to sleep. That night I talked to God. So I scratched off the barcode. I saw all this confetti. I saw a 5 and a whole lot of zeros. I just couldn't understand what was happening. Is this real? Yes, it's real. I just started feeling really, confused, happy, excited, nervous. It was a lot of emotions all at one time that just hit me.